to introduce myself and the other board members so that everybody knows who's in the room and working on the board. I'm Heather Martin. I'm representing the Vancouver Coastal Region, and this year I am the chairman of the board. We have Maria Dedegikis. Where are you, Maria? Maria is from Vancouver Coastal, an elected registrant. Laurie Donnelly, who is newly elected from the Fraser region. We have Cassandra Hamilton, who is newly elected from Interior North. Adrian Kershaw, a public representative for us from Sydney. Monica McCauley, who is newly elected from Vancouver Island. Bunsey Pagely, a public representative from Sydney. Jackie Parsons, newly elected from Interior North. Diana Stevenson, public representative Richmond. And we also have some past board members who have very kindly come out to support our process. Marlon Davis, who was representing Vancouver Island. Peter Land, up at the back, who's the past chair from Fraser electoral region. And just to say that in the past year, we also had two members who were not able to be here today. Glenn Kisman, who's been a past chair from Interior North, and Robin Watt, who was starting the year last year but had to withdraw in October of 2010, also from Interior North. In addition, Fern Hubbard is here, and I think most of you will know Fern, our registrar. Melanie Genoux, who is our deputy registrar, and Marilyn Elliott at the back, who makes sure all the bits and pieces happen, our executive assistant. So this year, there's one difference you may notice. We've moved the annual general meeting from October to June, and the reason that we've done this is because it makes it closer to our year end of March 31st, and it just feels easier to report on the past year before everything is very old news. We did have one lovely milestone this year. It was the first time that we've ever had elections to have people join the board. And that represents a real step forward for us, because now it seems that we're getting people willing and wanting to step forward to be a part of the board process. So just to let you know, annual general meetings are a requirement of the college as part of our responsibility to the government, and there is a sort of a strict formula that we must cover. The first order of business is that we must have a quorum of 20 registrants, which we do have. So thank you very much, and if there's anybody here that did not sign in first, could we get you to sign in, please? Okay, looks like everybody's good. Does everybody have an annual report? Anybody missing an annual report? Okay, then that's looking good. So what we do at the annual general meeting is we talk about the activities that have been part of the college work for the past year, and we talk about milestones and successes. We go over the audited financial statements. We are accountable to the government for the use of the budget that we have, but we're also accountable to the registrants and to the public to show that we've made good use of the monies entrusted to us. So that's part of what we will do today, is review those statements and to take your comments and questions. It's a very short meeting. It's only about 3/4 of an hour, so our reports from the various committees will be brief. And we're hoping to finish by 3:45 because we have an information session with our legal counsel, Kathy Herb-Kelly, who will talk to you about practicing dietetics in an evolving world, to talk about the changes in the provincial legislation, regulatory setups that have impact upon the practice of dietetics. So in order to get the meeting going, we would like to get an agreement on the agenda. That's on the inside of the first page of the annual report. So in looking at the agenda, does anybody have any thoughts about something to add or questions about what we're looking at? So if the answer is no, then I would like to suggest or put forward that the agenda be adopted as circulated by consensus. Okay, that's good. Okay. So the next order of business is to have a look at the minutes. The minutes were quite extensive. So if you could look to see if you notice any omissions, if you were there last year and you're not on the list of people who've attended, we would like to know. I'll give you a minute or two just to scan those because they are long. So would anyone like to add or amend anything from the minutes at this point? Then hearing none, I would like to propose that we adopt the minutes of the October 25th, 2010 CDBC Annual General Meeting as circulated. Will anyone move this? And your name, please?
Mary Pilipenko.
Mary Pilipenko?
Pilipenko.
Pilipenko. Okay, thank you. Are all in agreement? Okay. Then we'll say carried. Thank you. So now we have the annual reports. And again, you get to hear from me because I get to present the the board of directors report, which what I'd like to do is just focus on some of the strategic objectives that have been followed through, this being the end of our 3-year cycle in March, at March 31st, 2011. So what we've worked on at the college is to amend the regulatory framework to meet the legislated requirements of the college's emerging needs. We have worked on changes to the restricted activities. We have looked at requirements to be certified for restricted activities. We have had created new categories for non-practicing registrants and for registrants transferring to BC under labor mobility agreements. And we have increased the authority to delegate under restricted activities. We've been working on developing collaborative processes and that support registration. We have been, as a member of the Alliance of Dietetic Regulatory Bodies, part of a process that includes Dietitians of Canada and dietetic educators across Canada to come up with an integrated set of competencies that and job tasks that are suitable for both or all of regulation, education, and accreditation purposes. That project has moved ahead quite nicely. The first part of the project was was released in December of 2010 with the integrated competencies. The performance indicators are going to be coming out to be validated by our members as well as all other members across Canada, June 2011. And we've been working with our program of competence self-assessment and self-verification and learning plan as a registration process, and working with Langara College to try to create a program that's acceptable for bridging programs for foreign applicants and returning to work applicants, and for internship purposes. We have enhanced or working on enhancing dietetic care through interprofessional agreements. I believe that Fern has spent a lot of time this year going to the membership, talking about the agreements with the College of Pharmacists for dietitians' authority to write prescriptions for vitamins and minerals, and to assist more clearly direct parenteral and enteral nutrition processes. We have met Fern's met regularly with dietetic students and interns, registrants, educators, and government ministries, and the Alliance to further the role of our college, the business of our college. And I think at this point I've just given you a snapshot, and Fern would be able to fill in some of the blanks.
Thank you, Heather. You can see in my report that we have gained registrants, so the numbers of registrants we have in the college over the last several years since we opened in April 1st, 2004. And we've reached a very interesting point in our registrant numbers right now. We're having more people move to BC from across Canada. That dipped a little bit last year with the economic climate. We're hoping that that will increase again this year. And we're also at a point where a lot of our dietitians are in the baby-bearing age and are taking mat leaves. And we've got our baby boomers at the other end who are thinking of retiring or only working part-time. So from an administrative point of view, it's very difficult to budget not having a clue where the demographics are going, but we have done pretty good so far. And you can see that we're also losing the number of people that we have who are registered to insert feeding tubes. And that's sad to see, but obviously that depends on their work situation and what's required, so that's reality. So this last year I've been spending, as Heather said, quite a bit of time going around the province talking about regulatory amendments that we're going to try and get through with our government. And I am very much hoping that the consultations that I have to do still with I finished consulting with registrants, basically, and I need to meet with the College of Physicians and Surgeons, again with the College of Pharmacists first to make sure that they're still okay with the agreement that we worked on that is now being put into legislation, and then with the College of Physicians and Surgeons to make sure they're comfortable with it, and perhaps with the College of Registered Nurses. And the way it works with any kind of amendments to bylaws, regulations, whatever, is that the government puts them out to all the regulatory colleges for comment. That's their process. They're allowed a maximum of, I believe, 90 days, and they can make the period shorter if they want, even up to a week or 10 days. But I think with any major amendments, they allow a good few months. So what that means is our proposed changes go out there, and anybody who wants to, from a regulatory college point of view, can comment on it. So if we haven't done our homework and got our major stakeholders on side before they go out, we will get very surprised, or there'll be a surprise to me, letters from these various groups saying, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? And then we'll be taking steps backwards. So I need to do that work before it goes out. So I'm still very hopeful that we can get these bylaws finished, the drafting finished on them, and the work on our regulation finished by